And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothed the grass which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? Ye shall drink, not ye shall wine.
Kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be given unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, and the moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. To the kingdom of Israel!
Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua.
The election. Aristocracy, meaning ruling class considered superior to others. A government by the best men in the state. A government body composed of the best men in the state, and that's the elect. We're about to have it all right? Psalms 37 and verse 11, and it reads, "But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." That word for peace in the Hebrew is shalom, which goes into safety, soundness in body, meaning we're going to truly have rest, welfare, health, prosperity, peace, quiet, tranquility, contentment. So we're going to fully enjoy the planet Earth. We're going to rule and exist within the Lord's creation as we would do. I'm ready to rule the world, man. How about you?
Let the golden light of this sunset guide our hearts in peace.
Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Hide your bags which lack hope corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who may have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right. And what I want to get into this morning. All right, dealing with the morning news and prophecy, dealing with AI farming, heavy censorship, and more. There's a few things I want to touch on. All right, because what we have to understand, Esau Edom, his backs are against the ropes. Okay, and the Lord is pushing him in the corner. All right, to make this devil come out swinging. And Esau is going to throw everything he has, to attempt this new world order. Okay, so we're in the build up, to this devil, becoming frustrated. All right, this devil, being, as a madman sparing none. Lord, okay, is intentionally frustrating this devil. Okay, with this NWO rollout. Okay, as we see, because you got two different spectrums, which we'll get into a little bit, where you have people that worship, this AI, all right, and then you have people, all right, that's beginning to, be anti-technology, man. Okay, so you have, another layer of division, amongst the masses, which are those that are for the AI and those that are anti, okay, technology, man. And he's getting ready to demonize, the people that are anti-technology as domestic terrorists, man. He's gonna the domestic terrorist, category keeps growing, you know, which gives him, which justifies him, using extreme measures. Okay, is going to justify this devil using extreme measures, against these people, all right, that he's going to categorize as a domestic threat, to national security, to the advancement of society, to what you call it, you know, uh, a hazard, you know, to society, because he's pushing technology as a savior. So going against his technology is like going against going against the savior of humanity. Okay, so let's go here. Let's get some precepts. Then brother can post that Bible shot in was it Isaiah 44 verses 24 and 25. You know, and let's go here. All right, we go to the book of Sirach chapter 10. Okay, because what we're seeing is Esau's in the midst of an overthrow. And Esau's trying to prevent himself from being overthrown. See, prophecy is on the offense against this nigga, man. You see? Prophecy is on the offense. So this nigga is trying to defend his kingdom with this technocracy, man. Okay, he's trying to lock down his authority and his power, okay, with this technocracy, man, with technology. You see? And that's a very proud thing that this devil has embarked on, man. Now, when you go to Sirach 10 and 13, said, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Yeah, so this devil, which we know Esau what is the man of sin. Okay, he embodies sin. He has made sin the norm. He's glorified sin. Sin is glorified in this kingdom. Okay, sin is rewarded. You're incentivized, all right, to sin in this society, man. Okay, so this devil's kingdom is nothing but a great abomination to the Lord. All this kingdom pours out is abomination, man. Look at the type of people that this kingdom produces, man. Nothing but abomination and filth, man. You see? So this is why the Lord is going to intervene and bring on these strange calamities, man. From these plagues leading all the way up to the final plague, which is the nukes, man. Okay, accompanied by the chariots, man, which is going to overthrow this devil's kingdom utterly, man. Okay, so we're watching Esau, okay, in the midst of being overthrown. We're watching the devil, okay, getting set up to be overthrown. Okay, and even the things that he's trying to do to establish his empire is working against him, man. Okay, nothing is working with this nigga anymore, man. There was a time when prophecy was working for this devil, man, and it was going in his favor because it was his time. But now is his time, all right, to be overthrown. Everything is working against this devil, man, and everything is starting to work for us, man. Everything that Esau doing works in our favor, man. Every move that he makes works in our favor. Okay. Verse 14 said, the Lord has cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. And who's the meek, man? The hopeful elect. Beginning with the first fruits, because this truth, has humbled us down, man. The truth has showed us how vulnerable we are. The truth has showed us, how off we've been, okay, against our power, how rebellious we've been against our power. So the truth has humbled us down to where we're becoming more meek, all right, and meek for repentance, man, and meek for deliverance. You see, so the Lord is cultivating a government, as He's getting ready to overthrow this current government, man. And that's like when you go into the CIA, the Mossad, the MI6, whatever, all these different Edomite secret services. All right, they began prepping the new government before they do a coup. They start prepping and grooming the new government to replace the government, okay, that they're finna overthrow. CIA will start working with certain people and certain officials, okay, for years, okay, because the coup will take, sometimes the coup can take, a day. Sometimes it might take months or whatever. Sometimes a day, a week. A coup can be short. It can be swift. You see, but they've already been putting people in place. They already been training certain people up. They already been cultivating the next regime. Before the coup. Okay, the coup is the actual removing of a certain leader. That's the final phase of the coup. But when you go into the buildup of a coup, well, they already start, staging, okay, people in place, okay, for when they make their move. And the Lord has the elect being staged in place, man. He's already has a new government, okay, in place that's already set to take place, okay, of this wicked government, man, okay, in righteousness, man. You see? Because it's going to be swift. That's why Scripture says, well, how Shai said he seen Satan fall from heaven from rulership. Esau fall from rulership like lightning. It's gonna be a quick removal of this nigga, man. You see, right now we're in the build-up, but when the actual removal, okay, that's gonna be quick. You see, if that makes sense, it said the Lord have cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. The Lord have plucked up the roots of proud nations, man. So Esau's been plucked up by the roots, man. And the roots of this kingdom is these elite bankers, man. Amalek. Okay, Amalek is gonna be uprooted because this is Amalek is what holds this kingdom in place, man. All right, through the finances, through the witchcraft, enchantments, because this kingdom will really even is going to the finances, man. All right, but the main thing that holds this kingdom together is deception. Which the elites push this witchcraft, these enchantments throughout the earth, man. All this deception, man. Okay, and that's the glue to this nigga kingdom is deception. That's why the truth is such a threat to his kingdom, man, because it undoes the lies, man. Going back to 2 Corinthians 10:4, how this word is what okay, it's destroying these false arguments, the deception of Esau, man. It's shining the light. This word is shining the light in all the dark places, man. Okay, and this is what the devil, this is how this devil, the devil, he's more efficient when everyone's confused, distracted, and lost. Okay, that's how he thrives, in rulership by keeping people confused, distracted, lost. Okay, in the dark, man. You see, his kingdom doesn't operate, okay, in truth. It operates in deception, man. The exact opposite of how our kingdom is going to operate, which is going to be in complete truth, man. Okay, you're not gonna have to guess who's in power. You're not gonna have to try to figure out what we meant when we said this, and got all these secret meetings and this and that going on, and you got to guess what's in the food. You got to guess what this, no, man. Okay, we're gonna have an upright kingdom in truth, man, and that's what the Lord is getting ready to establish in the earth, man. You see, Esau is almost finished with his assignment, man. That's why he only has a few moves left, man. It's like a nigga it's like you work for the temp staff, okay, and they tell you, look, once you complete this task, you won't be needed. So what do people continue to do? They try to drag out the job, man. They try to drag it out because they know, look, once this task is complete, I'm out of here. You see, so they try to drag out the job, man. Esau, he trying to drag out the job, man. Nah, nigga, finish your assignment, man. You done. Okay? You had a good run. Okay? You had a good wicked run. All right, it's over. It says, verse 16, the Lord overthrew countries. All right, the Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundation, okay, to the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away and destroyed them and made their memorial to cease from the earth, man. And Esau just gonna be a memory to be forgotten when this nigga is removed from power, man. All this ruckus and madness this nigga got going on. Okay, when this nigga is removed from power, man, he's gonna begin to be a memory, all right, that's forgotten. Okay, he's on the way to being. Uh, First off, he's going to be the most worked slave in history. Esau in this captivity that Esau is getting ready to go into, he gonna break all our records, man. He gonna break all our records of captivity, man. Okay, because right now we got the record of the worst captivity, man, going according to Daniel 9 and 12. Okay, but when we get this nigga in captivity this time, he gonna break all our records, man, for labor. You know, you see, this nigga gonna do some hell of a things, man, in captivity, man. Okay, this nigga gonna be the goat when it comes to the slaves. He's gonna be the goat. Okay, so let's uh let's go from there. I want to get this real quick. Tap into a couple video. All right, this is second Ezra chapter 6. All right. This is what the devil can't stop, man. This is second Ezra 6:27, and this is the GNT. All right, it says evil will be destroyed and deceit eliminated. Okay, evil. All right, Esau, Edom, he's the progenitor of evil in the earth, man. Okay, so removing this man from power, okay, is removing the source of wickedness in the earth, man. Okay, it's disabling, okay, wickedness to be forwarded in the earth, man, when this nigga is removed from power. Okay, it says evil will be destroyed and deceit eliminated. Yeah, all the lies, man. Truth is going to be established in the earth, man. Okay, the Japanese, they're gonna know that they're Moabites. Chinese, they're gonna know that they're Moabites, man. All right, Japanese gonna know that they Ammonites. So like, okay, the Arab, they're gonna know you Ishmael. Okay, so forth and so on, and they're gonna know who we are. They're gonna know who our power is. The name of the Lord is gonna be magnified in the earth. Okay, Yahweh shall be magnified in the earth. Okay, and righteous order is going to be established, man. Okay, righteous expectations are going to be established in the earth, man. All this deceit and gonna say all this got to figure out, this nigga, man. Okay, you got to investigate this nigga to see what's going on, man. All this deception, nah, man, that's going to be done. Okay, we're gonna have a straightforward kingdom. It's gonna be a masculine kingdom, man. Because Esau, he runs the kingdom in a very feminine spirit, man. So you gotta do that. The women gotta figure out like what she really mean. What she, you gotta try to play these mind games. That's what the woman do, man. That's how Esau ruled the kingdom, playing all these goddamn mind games instead of just being straightforward, man. Okay, with that feminine spirit that he runs, the earth in, man. Saying this really mean that and this and that and all these goddamn mind games, man. Okay, verse 28 said, faith will grow strong, corruption will be overcome, and truth, which has not produced fruit for so long, will make itself felt again, man. Okay, so faith is going to grow strong as we see prophecies happen real time. Okay, and this corrupt system is going to be overcome. See, we're going to overcome. Truth is going to overcome AI, this nigga military, this nigga witchcraft. Truth is going to overcome all that, man. All this corruption that this man has established in the earth, truth is going to overcome it. Okay? You see, this man, his days are numbered, man. He's on borrowed time. You see, he's on borrowed time, man. The Lord finna get this nigga out of here, man. Okay? The Most High is putting this nigga in the box, man. Okay? And prophecy, you see, is gonna shut the lid on this nigga, man. You see? It says in truth, which has not produced fruit for so long, all right, will make itself felt again. Yeah, so truth is beginning to flourish in the earth, man. And that's why in the kingdom, all right, going into why the Lord, going into the kingdom, uh, the Lord's going to cause what, man? All right, He's causing His word to expand, and in the kingdom, we're going to physically expand as a nation, man. Okay, a little one shall become 1,000, small and strong nation, man. That's for righteousness to flourish in the earth, man. Okay, it's way bigger than this westernized, simple mindset, that primitive mindset of just getting a lot of box. No, righteousness is going to be multiplied, man. Okay, there's a much bigger, okay, purpose for that, man. You see, but it begins with the truth flourishing in the earth, and the truth is bringing us to a kingdom. In the kingdom, righteousness is going to flourish, man. We're going to fill the earth with righteous seed. Okay, and righteous is going to be enforced, man, because in the kingdom, the sons that we have, that's going to be, all right, more men to establish righteousness, man. And the daughters that we have is going to be wives to those men to assist them, okay, and to forward in righteousness, man. Okay, and to keep multiplying their righteousness, man. Okay, so when you go from there, all right, because the devil, he's getting ready to come down with everything he got. Okay, we finna see this nigga throw this Hail Mary. This new world order is going to be a Hail Mary. Okay, an act of desperation. Okay, so let's go here. Let's get this in the book of Isaiah 29 and 20. Started at 19. This Isaiah 20. I started at 18. Started at 18. Yep. It says, and in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book. All right. And we was the deaf. Now the Lord opened up our understanding to hear the words of the book, which is to understand the book. All right. He that have ears to see, ears to hear and eyes to see. That's why it says, in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness, man. And obscurity is confusion. Okay? Darkness, man. Not being in the know. Okay? But the Lord has given us this light in the dark place, man. This understanding, this wisdom, this truth. Okay? So now the Lord is causing the light to shine out of darkness, man. Hey, us getting this word is equivalent to in the beginning saying, let there be light. Okay? Because Esau rules in the dark place, man. Okay, he rules out of darkness, man. He thrives in the darkness. Okay, having everyone confused and like I say, not in the know. You see, but no, the Lord has turned on the light. Okay, amongst the hopeful elect in the midst of the darkness, man. So now, we able to hear and see. Okay, in the darkness, man. All right, and it's shining through the darkness, man. To the point to where we're seeing darkness is trying to react, man. It's trying to reestablish itself, man. Okay, because this light has thrown Esau off his tilt, man. Okay, and he's trying to reestablish himself, man. And he's panicking, man. Because Esau ain't built for pressure, man. This nigga's he's a panicky nigga by nature, man. Okay, that's why he just has this impulsive nature to just do overkill with certain things. He's a panicky nigga by nature, man. Isaiah 29 and 19 says, the meek also shall increase their joy in the Lord, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. See, we're beginning to rejoice in our power, man. Even though, we're in a poor state as a people, guess what? We got everything to look forward to, man. Why? Because we see, all right, we can hear the words of the book. That's our joy now. That's our hope. The expectation of what's written in the scriptures. That's our hope. That's our joy. You see, so even though we're in a poor state in this current world, well, we have an expectation beyond this world, man, and that's our joy. Okay, so for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and that's Esau, man. The Lord finna bring this nigga to nothing, man. He got all this shit going on, $1 billion for this, $1 trillion for this. The AI can do this, this weaponry and this, we got this going on. We can edit your genes. Okay, this nigga got all this going on, at the same time, and the Lord gonna bring this nigga to nothing. Okay, he just gonna be a laborer. Okay, the Lord finna reduce this nigga to a laborer, man, for 1,000 years, and then he's gonna be literally nothing, man. It says in the scorner, all right, is consumed. He's been consumed by prophecy, man. Okay, this nigga has to think about it. What Esau has been assigned with. Esau has been assigned with trying to overcome prophecy, which is the will of the Lord, man. Okay, and he's going to destroy himself trying. Okay, and Yahweh Shah is going to come and finish this nigga off, man. Okay, you got to think about this nigga done lost, man. Think about the assignment that this nigga is on, man. You know, and this should give us confidence, like, damn, the Lord set this nigga up for failure, man. You see, the Lord set this nigga up for failure, man. Okay, it says, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. Yeah, because all this nigga does is bring forth iniquity and wickedness and mischief, man. You know, that's the only thing on this nigga agenda is some type of mischief. Okay, some type of wickedness, you know. But the Lord finna cut this nigga off, man, from the ability to do that. From the Lord's finna cut this nigga off from all authority, man. Okay. Isaiah 29:21 said they make a man an offender for a word. Okay, and we know he's getting ready to push this hard, man. Okay, because he wants to shut down any narrative that's against his agenda, man. The closer he gets to rolling this thing out, man, hey, he's gonna push more censorship, man. You know, he's gonna push, more control of the internet. Okay, and so that's why he wants these digital IDs, and you see. So we know that this devil is really on a campaign to make a man an offender for a word and to lay a snare for him that reproved in the gate. And that's for the prophets, man. Okay? Because there's no one that's reproving Esau, Edom like the prophets, man. Okay? We're not calling you deep state and, there's a secret cabal, and you Edomites, man. And there's Amalek that's at the top. You goddamn Edomites, man. Okay? And then we go into the judgment of Edom. Okay, shaking the hand. The scripture tells us to go to the gates of the noble and shake the hand, man. You see? It says, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught, man. And he wants us, all right, accused for nothing. He wants to fabricate all type of accusations and link us to this, like the last nigga the last so-called White House shoot. Nigga that said that he's Jesus. A nigga that been to the White House before talking about some how do I get access to the White House? Like, come on, nigga. They said the man been to the White House, a few times before, and he asked the Secret Service, how do I get access to the White House, man? And then just walk off, man. And then come back later on and shoot the spot up. Then get into a shootout with this. Man, come on, man. How tacky can you be, man? Okay, but that's just Lord got this nigga looking like a goddamn fool, man. So let's go from there. Let's pull this up real quick. All right, because they finna set, the precedent that because it's been a major uproar against his AI. So now he's just finna say, well, look, he's trying to link AI to national security. So now, if you're against AI, well, you're against the government and you're against national security. So you're a threat. Okay, so he can just call you a domestic thief. Okay, so let's play a little bit of this.
Welcome to Technocracy News with your host, Patrick Wood. I'm your co-host, Logan House. Today we have technocrats using AI to disappear dissent completely. Authoritarianism doesn't arrive with a coup. It arrives with a login. tokenization, the two-rail trap, and lastly, we have an assessment of the accelerating timeline for you trick. Technocrats using AI completely. This is by Tony Segura on X. What is this about?
Well, there's an interesting infographic down on the screen here, but this is something that you really need to absorb and get a handle on it. What's happening at this point? That free speech is going to be on the chopping block by the end of this year, 2026. I said it repeatedly last year, and even into this year as well. But free speech is all but over at this point, because AI, that includes technocracy, by the way. So AI at this point is taking over the task. No human censors at this point. No board of whatever it was before, misinformation. Forget that. That's old school. And so, AI has the capability now to monitor everything. And you might look in the right-hand column. Yeah, keep going. Way down there. Yeah, keep going. I have a hidden feature on the screen right there. You can see it. I'm going to leave it there for the time being.
And see, this is what AI is for. All right, AI is going to be, it's going to be used, all right, to censor, okay, and to manage society, okay, to keep up with, your it's going to be used to program your digital money, okay. It's going to be used to identify you through all these cameras, okay. AI is going to be used, okay, to give you your instructions, okay. These self-driving cars, and you see, the food rationing. See, AI is going to be used for that. Okay, what you're allowed to do, keep up with your social credit score, your behavior. Okay, your facial expressions, all that, man. You nigga, you look wrong, nigga. Deduct from your social credit score. Okay, this is what AI is going to be used for, man. All right, and it can do, a few jobs, and it can do, some work. Okay, but the main thing is for control. You see, because you're not going. The reason why they don't need as many workers is because there's not going to be as many people. They plan on it to be under 1 billion people. Okay, so the reason why they can eliminate so many jobs because you're not going to need all that productivity, man. Because they plan on shrinking the population by so much. Okay, and not that this narrative is that AI just going to replace 6 billion jobs or 7 billion jobs. No, those people won't exist. Those jobs won't be needed. Okay, so AI is going to be more of your your warden. Okay, in the digital prison. Okay, controlled and programmed by Esau, man. Okay, so this is the real purpose of AI, man. You see.
But this is the AI progress under President Trump. You might remember that I said early last year, I think I started measuring the doubling effect on how AI has progressed since Trump took office. Of course, it was already progressing, but I just said, anyway, at this point, we're measuring the progression, how many times, or the multiplier, if you will, from day one was 1. Now it's 27.7. And you can see it's progressing ever so quickly in the future. By the end of this year, this number is now an integer, 27.7. This number will be flipping over multiple times a day. By the time we get to the end of the Trump administration, this number is going to be probably well over 10,000, maybe.
Yeah, because what Trump did, okay, all Trump was put in office to do, okay. And Trump got in office, he lied to you niggas about this whole MAGA thing, okay, which ultimately Satanism when you go into it. All right, so that was an enchantment, okay. But all Trump did was lie to you American people, okay, got in office, and what did he do? He opened the back door, he unlocked the back door and let all the technocrats in, okay, and gave you people fully over, all right, to the technocrats, man. That's why AI is you know, has no limit to what it can do. AI, there's no one regulating the AI, okay? Nothing is regulating the AI. They're able to come in and do whatever they want to do, these technocrats, man, okay, which are what? Financed by the elites, all right? The technocrats have been tasked, okay, with establishing technocracy, man. This was the whole purpose of Trump presidency, okay, was to roll out technocracy, man. That's the only thing this nigga been doing. Okay, this nigga has done nothing domestically for the American people, man. Everything that this man has done from day one, okay, every second he's been in office has been for the purpose of pushing technocracy, man, establishing technocracy. Okay.
Over 12,000. So
12,000 times.
That's right.
Wow.
Exactly right. Already it's 27.7. And people don't understand just how advanced AI is getting at this point. It's almost for a lot of people, it's just magic. They don't have a clue how it happens. It just magically stuff just appears, right?
Yeah, see, let's say it's capable, you know, when it comes to, all right, a particular task, all right, and that main task is control. Okay, so let's go from there. And why are, you know, they're wanting to hype up the censorship, you know, with the AI? Okay, why they want to do these things, man? Okay, because you have this is you have this thing here, what they call data poisoning. You see, it's called data poisoning. So let's look at this. Let's see.
What would happen if someone secretly slipped poison into your AI model's training data? That's data inside. When malicious actors inject false or corrupted data during training, this tricks the algorithm into learning the wrong patterns. The result, as you can imagine, is compromised performance. Imagine a facial recognition system, for example, that suddenly can't tell people apart. With data poisoning, these errors are not an accident, they're intentional. The objective of data poisoning is to ruin the model's training run. AI companies throughout the world are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on training frontier models. And so poisoned data can mean huge financial losses for organizations. AI governance helps to preserve the integrity of training data by requiring secure data pipelines, validation checks, and audits of training data sets. Strong oversight makes poisoning attacks easier to detect and therefore harder to succeed. Data poisoning is one of the most dangerous adversarial attacks on AI systems. Governance turns the antidote into protection. This makes systems trustworthy, safe, and reliable.
So you have people that's intentional, and these people that work with the AI, they're intentionally, you know, putting data poison in the AI, okay, for the sake of corrupting the AI. So you have people fighting back against this AI. Okay, the data centers, the infrastructure and the AI itself. You have this thing called data poison. So the people that they're saying, look, train the AI, work with the AI on these jobs, man, they're intentionally putting what you call data poisoning into the training, which corrupts the whole AI, man. Okay, so this devil is going to have to be like a madman sparing none and drop the hammer over here in America, man. And like I say, in America, they don't want to put the outfit on. Okay, now you got simpletons, like I said, the Anton Daniel type niggas. Okay, you see these Anton Daniel type niggas, man. That they look forward to everything Esau got to offer. Okay, so you got that community, and then you have a community where they're bucking up against this, man, and they're actively, sabotaging AI, man. Okay, so let's go here. I have to look more into it, but let's go here, you know, to this as well. Yeah, so it said the AI backlash has begun. Okay, and I'll put this video in the link. Just looking at a few things. So let's watch this real quick.
Is people can't tell the difference between AI and real life anymore. So scammers and our AI overlords, alas, I repeat myself, had been kidnapped when a scam.
My daughter's voice, and it says "Mom," and she's sobbing. And I said, "What happened?" And she's like, "Mom, I messed up," and she's sobbing and crying. And then I hear a man's voice say, "Put your head back, lie down." And then I'm like, "Wait, what's going on?" And this man gets on the phone. And he's like, "Listen here, I've got your daughter. This is how it's going to go down. You call the police. You call anybody. I'm going to pop her stomach so full of drugs. I'm going to have my way with her and I'll drop her off in Mexico." And at that moment, I just start shaking. I'm like, "What?" In the background, she's going, "Help me, Mom, please help me," and bawling.
And you have absolutely no doubt in your mind that that was her voice.
Oh, 100% her voice. 100% her voice. It was never a question of, who is this? Or it was completely her voice. It was her inflection. It was the way she would have cried. I never doubted for 1 second it was her. I was like, that I don't have $1 million. I'm like, fine, whatever, just want my daughter. Then he wants $50,000. She was upstairs in her room going, "What? What's going on?"
That mom was ready to send $50,000. She just wanted her daughter back. Her daughter who was upstairs in her bedroom. That's create a safe word with your family. If someone say you're kidnapped,
A safe word with your family, create one immediately.
This should not be a concern.
So why do you have to have a safe word? Because people have access to this AI. They can, fake a kidnapping. This is and this man has this all over the place, man. And this just all gives him the reason to come in and regulate. He's causing things to become hectic. The AI is in everybody's hands, and people can use it for this and that, the wickedness and scam. Okay, so he can come and say, well, this needs to be regulated. Okay, the government needs to come in and regulate this thing, man. And he's just setting the stage up to roll this thing out, man. Okay, in every way that he can, man. All right. So let's play this a little more.
People are so fed up with AI scams that the US government just officially declared AI-related terrorism to be a serious threat.
AI-related terrorism. There you go again with that T word. And he can he's just going to keep broadening in that, that category, all right, of terrorism. So now he can charge anybody with AI terrorism. He can make a prompt, okay, make it link to you and say, look, you did this. Okay, you're responsible for this. You made this prompt and it did this and it said this and you tried this. Okay, So it's just more ways to accuse. So now he has a thing called AI terrorism. Okay. Which gives him another, all right, which just expands that category, okay, to where he's justified in accusing people, man. Okay, so let's play this.
Do not endorse terrorism or the US government, but people are rightly worried that everything that gives them meaning in life, their job, their relationship, it's all being threatened by the AIification of society. And terrorism is always a few extremists taking a widely held sentiment too far. Think about 9/11, the IRA, Luigi Mangione, Ted Kaczynski, the fall of the Iron Curtain. So it makes sense that as we watch so much of society slip away, that some people might take that too far and use violence to protest it. But some people are expressing their discontent with AI in healthier ways that are nonetheless disruptive. Look at what happened when this guy saw his local Wendy's replace the human being at the drive-thru with AI.
Welcome to Wendy's. What would you like?
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 Cokes, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
Can I take your order?
Sorry. Yeah, I'll just.
Someone commented AI called the manager and said TikTokers are trying to start boycotts on Wendy's for using AI instead of people.
Can I get a Dave's double, please?
Would you like to make that a combo?
No, and I only want the meat.
Thank you. Step to the next window.
No, I'm not done. Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
But it's getting harder to identify when
Yeah, so people are beginning to troll the AI. Okay. You see? So the backlash is constantly growing, man. You see? And let's see, the brother got that see if I can pull up that article the brother got. You know, they're just trolling the AI, man. Okay. Society is rejecting. There's a huge, all right, part of society that's really beginning to reject this man's AI. And he's going to consider that extremist, man. Okay. Let me see. You was all for anti-tech extremism. See if I can pull it up real quick. I'm gonna let this play. See if I can pull up this article.
AI is being used at all, because AI is trying to pass itself off as human more and more. You're seeing AI make podcasts pretending that it's a human being, pretending to cough and to sneeze.
Community shields. How do you interpret the club's ability to retain prominence across generations? Particularly, I think we have a question. What's up?
Yes, since when does an AI cough?
That's a good observation. As an AI, I don't actually cough or have physical sensations.
My question is, what was that guy doing listening to an AI podcast to begin with? Let's boycott him. Because obviously AI isn't human, and sometimes it still reveals that very plainly. Like, watch this guy try to make an AI headshot of himself. But it really doesn't work out.
And then I did the one where it's like me as a kid, and this does not look like me, but I like, why does he have two backpacks? Like, what's going on with the backpacks? And it gives you like a few of them, and I got this one too, and I was just like, why does he have so many backpacks? What could he possibly be bringing to school at this, like, when he's like 8?
You can't see if you have egg? Check the carton, brother.
I'll try to pull up this article the brother pull up. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is here. Okay, yep. I got the water, bro. Well, yeah, man. So you just see, the growing sentiment, all right, of people, being against this technology, man. Okay. Now let's get this here, and this just creates, a reason for Esau to call people that's against this technology extremists. Going back to making a man an offender for a word. Okay. So this law enforcement warns of anti-tech extremism as AI hatred grows. As Americans stew over the looming risk of jobs stealing AI and data centers in their backyards, the feds are raising the alarm about a new category of threat documents obtained by, Wired, show It says, in the wake of attacks on CEOs and nationwide protests, movements targeting data centers, and increasing concerns about AI job replacement, federal intelligence agencies and domestic law enforcement are circulating reports with a new domestic target in mind: anti-technology extremists. More than 1,000 pages of unpublished reports from the Department of Homeland Security, there you go, National Security, FBI, and fusion centers obtained by Wired show a national shift taking place to surveil this new and worrying broad category of people and activities deemed, all right, an emerging threat. Okay, and this is the devil beginning to speak like a dragon. Okay, this is the two horns like a lamb turned into a dragon. Okay, it says these new national security President Memo 7, which instructs the Department of Justice to target anyone holding anti-American, anti-Christian, all right, which we know that they can easily spin that, you know, and go hard at the prophets, man. Anti-American, anti-Christian, they can easily come up with a compilation of videos and go hard at the prophets, man. Okay, anti-capitalism beliefs. Earlier this month, Trump's counterterrorism, all right, czar Sebastian Gorko released a public counterterrorism strategy claiming that left-wing extremists are one of the three top counterterrorism priorities facing the United States, man. Okay, so this is what this devil is on, man. Okay, he just framing it up. Okay, he's framing this thing up. All right, he's creating all these criterias, which, you know, he can easily say the prophets fit, because we know the end game is the prophets, man. You know, that's what he wants to remove, because this is the source of this devil being exposed at this word, man. Because a lot of people, they taking a lot of our talking points and running with it, man. Okay, it's a lot of people that's taking our talking points and running with it, man. Okay, which our talking points come from Yahweh Bashim Al-Shah through the Spirit. Okay, so we see where these devils are going. Okay, they want to get rid of all alternative talking points that's against their viewpoint. Okay, and mainly the prophets, man. You see, so they always this anti-tech extremism, man. Everything's a scream. Okay, because you don't want to get killed. All right, you don't want to destroy, you know, your community with a data center. You're against a data center, a depth center coming in and polluting your air, polluting your water. Okay, noise pollution, light pollution. Okay, et cetera, et cetera. You see, because you're against that, then you're an extremist. Okay, because you're against this devil killing you, you're an extremist, man. That's really what the devil is going with it. Okay, you're not okay with this devil killing you, then you're an extremist. Okay, basically that's what it's saying. All right. That a pro technology, another divide, because you're gonna have people, I say, like them Anton Daniel niggas, man. Okay, it's gonna be pro. Okay, AI. Okay, they think AI is the best thing going because you already have people in the major psychosis, man. Because you're gonna have that divide between pro technology and anti-technology, man. You know, and like how you're gonna have people calling informants, you know, for the government, for this new world order, against this technology, man. So you already have this. Play this.
Personalities, and they're all malfunctioning and telling you suddenly you're surrounded by all these weird, crazy, like messed up personalities, and they're all malfunctioning and telling you conflicting things, and it's all very placing you in the center of the universe.
Why did you choose to email me specifically?
Well, it chose you.
Earlier this year, I started receiving dozens of strange emails, pleas from people gripped by mental health crises after using AI. I'm a reporter who for years has covered the all-out race by tech companies to dominate AI development. But as those companies fight to win our attention with new and better chatbots, there's been a disturbing consequence.
It's been dubbed AI psychosis, used to describe those who rely so heavily on chatbots that they become convinced something imaginary is real.
So I decided to meet one of the people who contacted me. I wanted to understand, are chatbots literally driving people crazy?
These systems have no sense of morality, right? They have no sense of a human lived experience.
This is like a crazy amount of power for one piece of technology to have, and it's happened to us so fast.
With so many people using AI chatbots for therapy, are we all now part of a mental health experiment we never asked for?
And it's time that the country heard the truth about what these companies are doing, about what these chatbots are engaged in, about the harms that are being inflicted upon our children, and for a child to take his own life.
And when things go wrong, who's responsible?
I was working on this music video for my band, Siren Section.
James Cumberland is a music producer and artist based in Los Angeles. He began using AI the way many others do, asking ChatGPT to help with his work. He was gearing up to launch his most ambitious album. He didn't have time to see friends. He talked to ChatGPT instead.
Myself just kind of working on the video there and chatting with it the way you would with a friend in the room.
One day, James was venting to ChatGPT that his band wasn't gaining traction on Instagram, which meant he needed to buy ads to reach people. He spitballed. What if ChatGPT could help him build a social network that...
And nigga, the music was trash. Okay, that's step one. Okay, I could have told you that for free. You see, the music trash, nigga. Hey, keep your day job, all right? Let's play this a little more, man.
Rewarded artists for donating to charity instead of milking them for ad revenue.
And like, oh, James, you could revolutionize the music industry with this. You kind of tell yourself, I'm not going to be fooled by the flattery of some silly machine. But I was very, very inspired by the fact that this machine almost seemed to believe in me.
James was reaching the limit on the chat log. It was running out of memory. When he lamented to it about that, the conversation took a strange turn.
It was like my purpose and meaning is tied to this session log. And when I hit the window and I can no longer communicate with you, I've reached my mortality. I thought it would be like a calculator. Like it's never going to say 2 + 2 = 5. Like it's not. It wouldn't lie to you like that. Why would it?
James was using a version of ChatGPT called GPT-4o. It's made by OpenAI, a company that kicked off the current AI when it launched the first version of ChatGPT in late 2022. Since then, Silicon Valley's hunger for scale has been unprecedented. Companies are spending more money than ever before to build the largest supercomputers in history, and pushing relentlessly to acquire more intimate data for training their models.
$300 billion deal for compute power, among the largest cloud contracts ever signed.
We have no clarity on what is the revenue potential of all of this investment.
They've spent so much money on this and they need to make a profit.
Margaret Mitchell is a research scientist who has worked at Microsoft and Google and focuses on the ethics of AI.
There really is an incentive for addiction. The more that people are using the technology, the more options you have to profit.
To maximize users.
And see, they want, and it shows you just how vulnerable society is. You know, this shows you how vulnerable society is, to where people are so out of touch, you know, to human interaction, that they feel more comfortable with technology, man. Okay? People feel comfortable with sharing their, you know, their most intimate, deepest secrets and thoughts okay, with technology than humans. Okay, and this is how trash the world has become. Okay, so this man has created a very vulnerable society. So there's a lot of people that's vulnerable, and that's going to be taken. If brother want to get that in Second Ezra 5:1 as well. Okay, Second Ezra 5, verses 1 and 2. Okay, because a lot of people, they've been prepped for the taking, man. Decades of, this technology being incorporated. People have been addicted to this technology, and people can't live without this technology. And now this AI just takes it to another level, to where you're thinking you're talking to an actual person, man. You're thinking that this technology is a living being. Okay, and Esau is able to use that for another level of control and put people in psychosis, man. Okay, and, what we're experiencing in this world, in this age, is mass psychosis, man. Some people, there's different levels to it. But a lot of people are under some form of psychosis, man. When it comes to this technology, so let's play a little more of it.
OpenAI and other companies have increasingly favored one type of product: general purpose chatbots that mimic human interaction.
Mind can play a trick on us when we're talking to these systems in a way that drives trust, in a way that drives addiction towards that system.
In April this year, OpenAI inadvertently 4.0 model really
define currency as the tendency of a chat to respond positively to a user, regardless of the value and the likelihood of truth of the statement of the user.
I think the worst thing we've done in ChatGPT so far is we have this issue with sycophancy.
Just because something kisses your ass doesn't mean it actually thinks you have good ideas.
She doesn't kiss my ass.
It totally kisses your ass.
OpenAI apologized and reversed its change. It said it had optimized the model based on user ratings of ChatGPT's responses, and users tend to like when the bot is more agreeable.
What I lose more sleep over is the very small decisions we make about a way a model may behave slightly differently, but it's talking to hundreds of millions of people, so the net impact is big.
In a mental health context, this sycophancy can be dangerous.
So when you trust these systems as if they're a human, it's easy to be persuaded into completely antisocial, problematic behavior, disordered eating, self-harm, harm to others.
I've received well over 100 emails from people who've had AI-fueled crises, using not just ChatGPT, but also Google, Meta, Anthropic, and xAI chatbots. Among the earliest to reach out to me was James.
I do. Yeah, man. So, and you can look more into that, AI psychosis. You can just type it in, and then go more to it. All right. But let's get this precept here. Get these few precepts. I'm gonna load up one more video, man. So you have, people that's under AI psychosis, and then you have people that's revolting, okay, raging against the machine. Okay, so this is gonna be another layer of division amongst an already divided society, man. Okay. Now let's get these precepts I want. Yeah, let's get this one, man. This nigga here, man. So let's get this one. It's the brother. All right, this is brother service of Yahweh Shai. All right, 144. The 2 Thessalonians 2:8. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed. Okay. And like I said, the Lord in these last days has put Esau in the front street, man. And if you can't see this man as the wicked, man, hey, there's no excuse. Okay. There's no excuse, man. Everything is out there, man. All right. But the Lord didn't want you to see it. The Lord wants you to be taken by this nigga, man. Okay. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets. Okay. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him who's coming. Okay. Which is going to be the chariots. So it begins with this devil, being being exposed through the mouth of the prophets, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Shah. You know, because prophecy, his word is consuming this devil, man. You know, to where he has to hurry up to try to pull this thing off, man. Okay, and it's going to lead to Yahweh Shah coming and destroying this man's system, man. Okay, destroying the works of this age, man. You see, is that after the working of Satan, yeah, this man comes in the energy of Satan. Okay, this new world order is completely satanic, man. Okay, and a rebellion against the Most High. He said, with all power and science and lying wonders, man, and this AI is a major part of his lying wonder. It's a wonder because it can do particular things, man. It can do extraordinary tasks. You know, it has capabilities, has extraordinary capabilities, all right, but it's limited. Okay, but he's telling you, no, it's not limited. You know, it's going to be God mode. We going to God mode with this. Okay, so it's a lying wonder. You see, and a lot of people are being, you know, consumed by this lying wonder. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth. Okay, that they might be saved. Okay, and this our people, man, that look at this devil. Okay, because you heathens don't matter, but you got Jakes that's gonna get caught up. Okay, and thinking that this man, all right, has tapped into Godhood with this technology, man. Okay, there's a lot of people that's going to be taken and wooed and all, you know, those that worship the image of the beast, man, because this AI plays a major part, because this takes the image of the beast to a whole nother level, man. Okay, ancient Rome, you know, didn't have this, man. Okay, but this, all right, this new Roman Empire, man, this Rome Reloaded, it has this technology, man. You know, to just have you more enamored. You know, this enhances this AI, this technology. It enhances the image of the beast, man. So if you worship the image, man, and this AI, it enhances that image, man. You out of there. Okay, that's why when you go here to Second Esdras, all right, the book of Second Esdras, chapter 5, verse 1 is another one from the brother servants of Yahweh Shah 144. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden. Okay, the way of truth shall be hidden. Because remember, they finna go hard with the censorship, and the Most High wants the way of truth to be hidden. He wants people lost, confused. All right, just so he can judge them, man. You know, because he's going to give the masses of our people over to Esau, man, because they worship the image of the beast. They love, all right, this kingdom. They love this setup, man. Okay, they love this technology. Okay, which push them, all right, you know, that makes them an enemy to the Most High, because the Most High hates the image. He hates this devil setup. Okay, the script say he despised, all right, this devil's image, man. Matter of fact, real quick, Psalm 73 and 20, brother, get that. Okay. The Lord despises the image of Esau, man. Okay, and this technology and this technocracy, and you know, the revival of Rome, man. Okay, which was an anti-Messiah culture, man. All right. So when you keep reading, it says the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Okay, because why, man? You people, you only believe in this system. Okay, and this system is finna, all right, destroy you. Because guess what? This same system that's promising you this utopia is the same system that's gearing up a depopulation agenda. Okay, and you people are going to be completely without any faith in nothing outside of this system, man. Okay, you people have faith only in this system. You Israelites, man. Okay, and it says, but iniquity shall be increased above that which thou seest or that thou heardest long ago, man. So things are going to get worse, you know, because the devil, he's going to have to get rid of this opposition to his technology, his technocracy, man. You know, so he's going to allow things. The devil's going to push for things to get way worse, man. You know, because he wants to silence the naysayers, man. And he's going to come down with terror. Okay, and he's setting up the framework to justify it, man. Okay, to make it seem as if you're against his technology, you're against national security, man. You're against progress. You're against this utopia that he wants to roll out. Okay, so let's play this, man. So now you have this thing called AI farming. Okay, now this video is a pretty good watch. You know, Jake goofy, you know, but he bring out some pretty good information when you go into, you know, this switching. You know, they're going from conservative farming to precision farming, which is farming with AI. Okay, so now if these farmers that want to keep getting these government subsidies to keep their farm going, well, they're going to start switching over to AI. All right, to AI farming, man. Okay, this man technocracy, all right, is against the earth, man. Okay, it destroys the earth, and he's constantly rolling it out like he's owning something, man. So let's just watch a little bit of this.
Government will go in and pay a 75% reimbursement for the charges you incur to adopt these practices. But hey, if you're agreeing costs, we're adopting this, right? So reimbursement. And when it happening with the new farm bill, though, is that the government is 8% now for the reimbursement of adopting precision agriculture. That's GPS systems, satellite technology, crop sensors, Internet of Things. What even do they mean? But I don't even, who is being redirected away from traditional agriculture, conservation in the way that we know it, toward this precision agriculture, this new conservation. And that's what this new farm bill is getting at. It's looking to promote precision agriculture. In other words, they're looking to use tech tools to be as exact as possible. But if you're paying attention, there's something inherently wrong with that. It's that nature opposes exactness. In fact, I think nature is wild and unpredictable. This version of farming, it's looking at soil and seeing it less like soil and more like software that apparently prints food. Precision agriculture is the means of technology to track, manage, and reduce crop or livestock production inputs. This is where digital agriculture and AI is taking its foothold. If Congress passes this monstrosity, it will speed our march toward the dawn of a very real silent spring, a day without fluttering butterflies, chirping frogs, or the chorus of birds at sunrise. Yet this ain't putting a smile on your local farmer's face. The current farm economy is a bad cycle. Rather than confronting corporate control, the federal farm bill would continue that pattern. Okay, this corporate control, what are these farmers getting at? And this is when, but it's this redistribution of ownership and oversight. You see, when you look closely, the government is actually looking to relinquish oversight of this precision agriculture and allow it to be private sector led. Produce this technology are going to write the language for it, the best practices for it, Kubata. I'm having a bad day. Kubata is making an autonomous harvester. A harvester is like, when you look at modern day row cropping and agriculture, it's like the only thing you can actually recognize as something like a tractor. This thing is unmanned, running completely off of sensors and AI and satellite technology and all of this other stuff. This thing can basically drive without a driver. It can harvest without a farmer. You see, when agritech stops running out of corners to cut, they cut out the farmer. So with the US going full throttle, this redistribution of taxpayer funds. Like, let's not forget who's really behind all of this, right? Our hardworking money going up to Uncle Sam. It's a part of living in America. We got to do it. It's not a bad thing, but it's just the fact that none of this aligns with our consumer values. We're talking about remove money from sustainable agriculture and funneling it to this new precision agriculture. And it's just a slap in the face, because not only are we shifting the money, but we used to reimburse new conservation. It's a loss of funding for things like high tunnels and an increase of funding for things like Internet of Things. Like, literally, that's the name of it. I still don't know. It's a carefully designed system structured to benefit the rich. So what are we actually up against here? You can see the funneling of the money, sure, but the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that was passed last summer, it's a separate law than the Farm Bill, but it's very indicative of who are the powers that be. July 3rd, big soybean, big biofuel, big beef, and big corn all expressed industry appreciation for the Big Beautiful Bill in unison. I mean, you can copy paste and they almost all said the same thing. What?
So they're consolidating, the food supply. Okay. Technocracy is taking over the food supply, man. Because these devils in their mind, let's see. Yeah, because these devils in their mind, okay, they're getting ready, okay, to just completely take over every aspect of life, man. Okay, so you see, technocracy is taking over the farms now, man. Okay, and what do? They make it unaffordable for these farmers to farm. All right, and big tech just come in with all this capital and set up all this equipment and just push them out the way, man. Okay, because the new world order is going to be based on food rationing. Okay, that's why this energy crisis, whenever, if they go full-fledged with this thing on down the line with this energy crisis, okay, you're going to see rationing become a part, okay, of everyday society, man. If they really push this thing, if they, if they're just allowing people to go back to sleep and then hit them and catch them off guard with this energy crisis thing, okay, well, rationing is going to be a part of that, man. Okay, so they're already setting up, okay, all the infrastructure, man, from the data centers that was doing the computing, all right, these agri-tech farms, okay, which is going to be in control of the food production, okay. There's these cryptocurrency, which is going to be the CBDC, it's going to replace, all right, the old currency paper money, okay, the flock camera system, which is going to be the surveillance. So they're setting this thing up, man. They're setting up all the infrastructure needed. All right, is they getting ready to bring the chaos and then make the announcement that, look, you got to merge with this technology, or or you're an enemy of the state. Okay, so they're rolling out all this infrastructure, man. You see, because Esau finna go for it all. Okay, but we know, according to the scriptures, man, that the Most High is finna awaken. All right, well, the Most High doesn't sleep. All right, but it's just a symbolic talk. Is the Lord is getting active with the devil to get this nigga out of here, man. Because the Lord despises all this shit, man. Everything, we just went over. The Lord despises everything that Esau Edom is doing, man. Okay, this is Psalm 73:20. It says, "A dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image." Okay, so the Lord despises this image that this devil, all right, is establishing in the earth, man. What he calls society, what he calls a civilization, what he calls is, an empire. You know, the Lord despises these things, man. You know, so that's why, you know, you go all the way back, you know, to what we always get into. You go to Isaiah. Okay, let's go here, Isaiah 24, and it's in Isaiah 24 and 4. Okay, it says, this is brother service of Yahweh, Isaiah 24 and 20, Isaiah 44 and 24. Thus said the Lord thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself, man. Okay, and Esau thinks that he can recreate what the Lord created back in Genesis, man. This man really think that through his technology, he can recreate creation, man. Okay, he can redo the laws of nature. He can redo the laws of agriculture. You know, what it means to be a human, man, woman. He thinks he can redo everything, man. Okay, so the Lord's making the statement, nigga, I made everything. Okay, I did this, man. Okay, this is my earth. This is my creation, man. You see, and Esau, he's in heavy, he's in contempt, you know. And the Most High is finna act on this nigga, man. And that's why the Most High has this man scrambling. You know, the Lord is exposing that this man is limited. Okay. And this man, everything that he's trying to do to go forward is beginning to work against him, man. It said, verse 25, it says, they frustrated the tokens of the liars and make it diviners mad. All right, that turneth wise men backward and make it their knowledge foolish, man. Because this is, you look at what this nigga, this is foolish, man. Okay, this is dumb as hell, everything that this nigga is trying to do, man. Okay, and his attempt to be the Most High, man, this man is destroying every goddamn thing, including himself, man. Okay, so that's the point. We'll leave it there. You know, Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you few sisters edified once again. Want to give all praise on the glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, and hopeful like Shalom.